For those of you out there that own a pet, or wait, I take that back. The pet owns you, and the pet gets lost outside somewhere and is missing for days. You know what it's like to go through that period of time in which you're looking for your best friend. And I've experienced that. And I was fortunate enough that the cat, Four Socks, was found. It took 6 weeks, but some owners found the cat. And I really should do a video just on Four Socks one of these days. But nonetheless, this Saturday evening, the day after St. Patrick's Day, I'm going through my emails late at night, and I got tagged on a Facebook message. And I'm not a real big fan of Facebook, but nonetheless, I went and checked it out, and it was from a friend, Susan, who forwarded me a text message from this girl named Lindsay, who had lost her dog Zeus and was looking for anyone that might own a drone to help out in trying to find Zeus. So on Sunday, I decided, well, let's go take a look and see if we can find dear old Zeus. So myself and a couple other drone pilots and a score of people out driving their cars was out looking for this dog. Now, Zeus and her owner, Lindsay, reside in Crescent, which is south of us by about 8 miles. But they had been out walking the dog on a trail not too far from Hokah when, for whatever reason, the dog got spooked and ran off. And you know, we live in the driftless area here in southeast Minnesota. This is an area that was never covered by glaciers during the last ice age. And it's a beautiful area. Lots of hills, bluffs, valleys, coulees as they call them. And it's just an amazing place to live, but it's also an amazing place to get lost because there's a lot of places to lose yourself. So this poor dog is out wandering around in about a 2-mile radius area, and occasionally they're seeing the dog, but the dog immediately runs away if someone tries to get close to it. And I've heard of this before where animals that are lost go into a survival mode and may even totally disregard the voice of their owner, or, well, I shouldn't say their owner because that's not true. But anyways, they disregard the voice of their nearest companion friend, a human, and won't even come near that person. And so what do? You know, it's really difficult because sometimes the only way you're going to get that animal back, let's say it's a dog such as Zeus, is to trap it, if you're lucky enough. Now, to make matters worse, this is Minnesota, and we're in the month of March, which does not mean spring here. We are in a late stages of winter, but it's still winter. And we had a snow last week, so we had a couple inches of snow left on the ground this weekend. And it was cold, with highs not getting above freezing and lows in the single digits. It was not a fun environment, and it was also very windy. So I really felt sorry for this dog. And so myself and others were out looking for this dog for a number of days. And there were occasional sightings, but no luck. And having a drone and being a certified drone pilot, I decided I would do my best to find this lost dog. And for anyone that's ever flown a drone, you quickly realize how daunting of a task this is, even from the air, because most drones have wide-angle lenses. People think that drones, when you get them close to a window, could be looking in someone's window. It's not that way. These drones have very wide-angle lenses, and most things look like small dots, including dogs. So, you know, I was a little skeptical we'd find it with a drone, but at least I would try. And so I took my drone out numerous times on numerous trips, mostly in the Root River Valley bottoms where it had been seen. And this is an area, it's a dicey area. There's a lot of water, a lot of muck, because we're in a state of thawing and freezing of the ground. And especially as things started to warm up, I was a little concerned that the poor Zeus might end up stuck in ice or something. But anyways, to make the story not as long as possible, this dog was lost on St. Patrick's Day, and that was Friday. Saturday it was seen once, Sunday it was seen once, and then come Monday, yesterday, it was not seen at all. And you know, we had looked all over the areas that it had been seen. You know, typically when these dogs get lost, they seem to travel over a similar area. And one of the areas that it had first been seen at is called Pfeiffer Valley. And there's a road called Pfeiffer Road that extends back into this valley. And Lindsay had set up a bed and a cage there, hoping that Zeus might go back into a holding area. No such luck. And I had gone back into Pfeiffer Valley on Monday afternoon, and there was no go. So after I got thinking about this all, I'm thinking, okay, no one is seeing this dog anywhere in the area now. It must have moved on somewhere. And I thought about it, and I thought, you know, Pfeiffer Valley is kind of on its way back to Crescent where this dog lives. And maybe the dog is a little bit further north towards Crescent, but in doing so, that means it's on top of a bluff somewhere and not in a valley. Now this dog Zeus, I would have loved to have a tracker on this dog because it must have run at least 15, 20 miles easy through the days it was lost. This dog was on the move. So here we are at the end of Monday and still no sign, and I decide, you know what, I'm gonna go look up on top of the ridge. And there's a dead-end road up there called Selkie Road. And I've been down it once, and I decided, well, let's give it a try. And so I drove up to Selkie Road. I had to go around because there's no easy way to get out of Pfeiffer Valley. You can't go up the side of the bluff. So I had to back around and go about 3 or 4 miles to get to Selkie Road and then take that south towards Pfeiffer Valley, but on the top side. And I get up there and I'm looking and I'm seeing, you know, a combination of fields and a lot of trees. Trees are kind of our enemy because if that dog is in the woods somewhere, it's going to be really hard to see. Even with a drone with no leaves on the tree, it's still difficult to see animals roaming through forests. So I get up there and I'm driving down the road and I'm looking in the tree lines, I'm looking in the fields and nothing, and I'm thinking this is useless. But I decided, well, let's take the road to the end. And I get to near the end of the road, there's some mailboxes there, and then up ahead I could see a house, and this blue house had a garage, and next to the garage I see a dog. Now if anyone's been on a farm around the area, typically when a dog sees you, it either wants to rip your head off or at least wants to chase your car. And this dog didn't do that. It kind of looked at me and then slowly backed away and out of sight. So I pulled up to where this house was. I'm thinking, could this be Zeus? I mean, the odds are astronomical that I would find this dog. And I called up Lindsay on the phone. I said, you know, I don't know if this is your dog. It kind of looks like your dog, but I can't tell. And it's a little sheepish. And she says, I'll come up. She says, we got no other leads. I'll come up. So in the meantime, I took some pictures with my telephoto lens of the dog. And I looked through the pictures and zoomed in on the picture. And I saw a bit of green on on the dog's chest, and I recognized it as a bandana. And Zeus was wearing a green bandana the day he was lost. So then I knew I had found Zeus. And of all places, I mean, not only were we looking for a needle in a haystack, but we were looking for the haystack. And here is this dog, you know, just, you know, 150 yards from me at least. So Lindsay comes up, she starts calling the dog. She's got her other dog, Jax, with her. And they're looking for the dog, and no luck, but she did see his footprints, his paw prints in the snow, because there's still some patches of snow up there. So she headed into the woods and asked me if I'd go back down to Pfeiffer Valley, which was below, and set up my drone there to see if maybe Zeus might come out of the woods down the side of this 300+ foot bluff. So that's what I did. I drove back to Pfeiffer and I set up my drone, and now it's after 6 o'clock. The sun sets here right now at about 7, so it was getting darkish. And I've got about 2.5 batteries of life in my drone. It's a Air 2S drone, which has about 25 minutes of real-time life to it. So I had some time to get up in the air and at least set myself up and look to see if I see anything. And I waited and waited, I'm not seeing anything. And then all of a sudden I can hear Lindsay calling for Zeus. So she was coming down the east side of this bluff. And all of a sudden I hear this hound dog, and I'm going, where is this hound dog? This hound dog's gonna frighten Zeus away. Well, I didn't know at the time that the hound dog was a friend's dog that Zeus is friends with. And so they were trying to find Zeus by having this hound dog call it, I guess, or at least try to communicate with it. And so I see Lindsay and her friend and the two dogs walk out into the clearing on the east side of the bluff, but no Zeus. So I had to send the drone back up with another battery, and I'm trying to keep an eye on both fields. There's a east side to the bluff and a south side to the bluff, and I'm not seeing anything. But I could see that now Lindsay had moved over to the south side of the bluff, and there were some other people there with four-wheelers that were helping out. And she's calling and calling, and I can't really tell what's going on from where I'm at because I'm about a half a mile away. But I can see the dot of her on my video camera in my drone, and I keep looking and looking, and I see her run up to the top of the hill. And her other dog, Jax, which is a little tiny dog, was following. It was rather cute. And then I see her lay down on the ground, and it looks like she has a dog in her possession, and sure enough, it was Zeus. So I am so happy that this all turned out so well, and it was amazing. I am totally shocked that I found this dog. I mean, it could have been anyone. I'm not trying to take credit for it, because one thing for sure I found out about the area here, we got some great people. I couldn't believe all the people out looking for this dog. It was very heartwarming to see such a response to try to find this dog. And it was just the luck of the draw that I happened to be the guy that found it last, that was able to help find it for good. So it's interesting, you know, the drones play a part in these things. And there's a couple things I found out for my own self with this drone is I need goggles, because trying to look at the screen on a cell phone and trying to see exactly what you're shooting is a lesson in futility. You kind of have a generalization of where everything is in your shot, but you can't see any of the details. And when I was taking video from the drone, I'd run back to the house to look at it on a big screen, because that's the only way I could tell for sure if I had seen Zeus or not. I did see a skunk one day, and that was kind of cool. But the problem is I need goggles, and it helps block light too, which is another thing. So I'm gonna be in the market for goggles, and I'm gonna post a couple videos on that coming up, because I've got some things lined up which I think you'll find fascinating. In any event, this turned out to be a great story, and I am so happy for both Lindsay and Zeus. And it really made my year. It really did. I am so happy that they've been reunited. And again, thanks to everyone that helped Lindsay out. It just really is heartfelt to know the amount of people that were out helping to search for this poor dog. So thank you all, and have a great rest of the day and week and year. And think positive. These are cool things that happen on occasion that work out, and I am so tickled to be a part of it. So take care, and we'll catch you again.